Okay, so I thought we'd do a little bit of a different studio vlog this week. So you may have some voiceover, you may have some music clips, but you may or may not know that I've started off doing the design for the Dolce Vita inspired collection. So all I'm going to be doing today is we're just going to set down the line art for a concept that I've already taken through into Adobe Illustrator. So it's just going to be a really chilled vibe. This is how the idea originally started. Bearing in mind, none of the, perspectives are right. It's just me just getting that sketch down and just giving me some sort of idea of what I want to do. This is an idea that I've got for a print design, but it could also go on totes, glassware, because I'm thinking of doing that image on a bold design with some text at the side. So for now, let's just do this studio vlog. Will just be me showcasing some of the images that have already gone through and I'm currently working on. So I'll do you a little slideshow. Can't get my words out this week. And then I'll literally just show you how I go from this step, which is the sketch step, and then we're going to now start trying to lay down the line art. Depending on if I ever wanted to, I could just then shift that up into Adobe Illustrator and do an image trace. But I didn't do that this time. I've already taken that through, but let's go behind the scenes. So I thought I'd jump on for a little bit because I thought it might be a little bit boring you just watching me drawing. So basically all I wanted to do was just do something for myself, as in just do a hand-drawn design. So rather than just always taking everything through to Adobe Illustrator. So remember when I said we're going to have a little bit more fun and just see what we can do with this design in Procreate itself. So for the rest of the studio vlog, we're going to see me finishing up the line art. I'm not going to lie, this leaf and the freaking ice was doing my head in. But I don't know why I'm stressing so much, because I know when the colour fill is in, it's going to look okay. But obviously, whilst you're drawing on Procreate, you can just take your own time and just do your own thing. Sometimes you will see me just messing about with the different inking or the calligraphy style brushes, because a bit later on I'll explain I just want to vary the width of some of my line arts. But enough about that whilst we watch me draw. Basically, May this month is going to be a really, really, really expensive month. And I have these really big ideas. I want to do notepads, I want to do prints, I want to do totes, I want to do glassware. But what I need to remember is I'm still in the early stages of this business. And what you guys may or may not know is that obviously I know I'm very open about the chronic illness, but we're self-funding a freaking doctorate, which means you have to pay for the fees, pay for your petrol to travel, which in some cases can be over an hour, and pay for all of your clothing and your food and everything. You literally do not get paid whilst you're on this doctorate unless you're one of the lucky ones. So don't ask me why I thought it'd be a really good idea to start a business up at the same time as doing that. Supportive, yeah. But anyway, I'm still enjoying it, still enjoying my design processes. It's just I'm trying to, how can I explain? I've got so many ideas, and you know when the only thing holding you back is the funds, it really gets frustrating. So what you guys probably are not aware of is that I have literally got a catalogue full of designs sitting ready to be used or turned into projects, which I just can't run with at the minute due to finances. So for anybody else out there who's early in setting up this business, or you just turned a hobby into a business, just don't stress it, because your real supporters and your real community will get it. They know that it takes a while for everything to take off. They know that it takes a while for every step of the business to actually, what can I say? How can I say it? It's not just you're going to make a design and you're going to bang it on the shop. There's a lot more behind the scenes that goes on. And this is something that everybody needs to be aware of. Small business is hard, but in those first couple of years, be prepared to hustle and just to have patience, because it is going to take a while, but you will see the fruit of your labour. Trust me. How not to film a freaking outro, yeah? Maybe even press record. So basically, we're jumping back on, because I didn't even realise I'd not even been recording, yeah? So this is me just finishing up now, doing the basic level of the line art. I just thought I'd jump on to just show you what was happening in some of the stages. So I think personally some of this line art width needs to be altered. So when I'm in Procreate, for example, if we look at this inking pen or design pen, you can see that depending upon how let's get a decent thing so you can see. Depending on how I touch the brush, look, or touch the pen to the screen, I'm able to vary up some of the width of the stroke. But when it comes to the monoline, which is my default, this just has a generic, literally stroke width. You're not changing it. So if I wanted to, for example, first of all, I'm going to make sure, yeah, I'm recording. I could actually change the actual width of that line art that we've got for the side of the lemon or orange. I think that's the lemon portion. But when I'm in Procreate, I do sometimes have to mess around, have a look and see which, because obviously there's no secret to the fact that some of my hand strokes are a little bit shaky. So I do have to be careful which of these brushes that I do use, dependent upon the design and how I draw. What you may or may not have noticed is I tend to use the biggest portion of this screen. I tend to draw a lot of the stuff on the right hand side, and then I'll literally just use my options to just move over the design. I don't know why that's why I do it, but that's how it is. When I'm looking at this glass at the moment, it looks like this slice. Let me just find where we are on the layers. This is why I do label my layers like I do. It looks like it may be out of perspective, and that is purely because we've got no colour fill there at the moment. So I don't worry about that when I'm in Procreate, because I know by the time I've got to Adobe Illustrator, it'll have its colour fill on, it'll have its gradient, and it'll have its shading and highlights. And I know that part of the slice that sits on the glass will be in the correct perspective. Whilst I'm drawing into getting the line art down, it's literally just about getting the shape down and just moving that part of the design where I think it's going to sit. Same with the ice. I'm not bothered about the ice or the straws look, because I know, again, I've just labelled them up. If I wanted to, I can turn the straw off. I know that by the time we finished, that straw is going to look like it's gone inside the inner part of the glass and it's just going through into the liquid. So I don't have to worry about anything like that, because I know by the time we've got the colour fill on, it will all look right in its right perspective. From sketch to line art, it literally is just getting it down into a more solid concrete form, and just for you to decide where you want things to permanently go, because sometimes your sketches, you'll do it 3 or 4 times on one design concept. So what I may do is, in a couple of days time, I might do a basic colour fill, and we can watch how that takes shape and takes the form of what this design is going to be just in the Procreate side of things. So either before we've done this sketch or coming up in a few minutes, I think that's the more logical thing to do, I'll put you in a slideshow that shows the 6 designs that I've currently done and that are working in progress within Adobe Illustrator. So I've done some concepts that are for the notepads, that are possibly for what you could use, for a DTF or UV DTF. So think glassware, glass wraps, think tote bags. You can use DTF and just obviously heat press still. If you was going to do this design that I've got in mind, which is the Dolce Vita inspired collection, if you was going to do that as HTV on a tote, that would take a long time to do each individual piece. If you wanted to do it, that's fine, but I'm not going to lie, that's not something I'd want to attempt. But for now, we've done what we need to do. We've got the line art down. I will showcase what I've got coming up in the future in the next slideshow or the next few slides. But the next studio vlog, I'm just going to take it through and just show you what I do for a colour fill.